Hello beautiful people, it's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video. This is from the channel Culture Spill. Title reads, Hermes finally sues Chinese manufacturers after this. Alright, okay. I think we've seen something like this before, but this is from another channel. We're gonna check this together and I love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Let's dive right in.
These are pieces of artwork. These artisans train years and years to make one of these bags.
Fabrice is doing the last stitching on a Kelly bag. A Kelly takes around 13 hours to be made, depending on the materials that we make it. Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag.
Real Hermes says, made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not a quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on. Show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
Okay, y'all, when you hear the name Hermes, what do you picture? A quiet Parisian workshop tucked away in the French countryside. White-coated artisans spending hundreds of hours hand-stitching buttery soft leather under golden candlelight. Every cut and stitching perfect. A slow, almost sacred process passed down through generations. It's the image Hermes has sold us for decades. And it's the fantasy that's helped them charge jaw-dropping prices, $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000 for a single bag. But what if I told you that behind that polished French facade, there's a very different story unfolding? One that doesn't happen in Paris at all. But in China's massive factories, where dozens of these so-called handcrafted treasures are churned out at speeds no Parisian artisan could ever match. And the shocking part is that these aren't cheap knockoffs. These are the real Hermes bags, built for...
Let me just ask one question. Sorry, I had to pause here. So because now Chinese manufacturers are coming to say, oh, they are the ones, or they were the ones who manufactured this bag, doesn't make the brands on luxury? That was a question somebody asked, but now I'm asking this question. And does it mean that you no longer trust the brand, or does it make it or seem like you don't no longer trust the brand? Now you trust the Chinese manufacturers, because remember, people once did not trust Chinese made items. So how come people are not shifting sides now? Say, okay, they believe the Chinese manufacturers over. Because lots of us already knew about this, especially those who have been into business for a really, really long time. I've known about this for, like, I can't even, how many decades ago? Like, or years ago, rather. But I think it's going to a decade, or if not more than 10 years. And it's no surprise. This didn't even come to me as a shocker, because so how come all of a sudden people trust the Chinese manufacturers over the luxury item or the luxury brand that they once trusted? I'm curious to know.
Same boutiques, the same customers. Stay with me, because once you see how deep this goes, you'll never look at a luxury bag the same way again.
It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. Put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
This is why this bag from our factory only costs you 1,000 USD.
Have y'all seen that TikTok by the Chinese guy exposing how luxury goods are actually made? The only real difference? China ships the products to Europe, slaps on a made in France or made in Italy label, and boom, luxury? It's ridiculous.
Now, here's where things really start to get interesting. Those Hermes bags, the ones we imagine being lovingly handcrafted stitch by stitch in France, are actually manufactured in China. I'm not talking about just the materials being sourced there. I'm talking about the entire process, all happening inside Chinese factories. The hands shaping that $20,000 Birkin, more often than not, they've never even set foot in France. Maybe the finishing touches, maybe a stamp or a snap button, might happen in Europe. Just enough to legally slap a Made in France label on it.
This Himalaya wedding from boutique cost you 66,000 US dollars. But do you know what the real cost from our factory? Let me show you the numbers. First, the leather. This Himalaya footwear leather is supplied by the company HCP. From front, and one piece of this Himalaya leather costs 1,300. One for the front, one for the back, and another one on the two sides. So 3 pieces is 3,900. Interior lining is imported lambskin, and the cost is about 200 US dollars. Also, exactly the same thread. 25 hardware is set with diamonds, $700. Total order. The cost is $30, and the zip $350. And at last, the cost for this 30-year experienced artisan's labor and skills is $700 US. Same material from the same supplier for those boutique bags by our factory is $6,000.
Now, as you can imagine, Hermes didn't just sit back and take this quietly. The moment the factories started spilling their secrets, Hermes launched a full-scale legal attack. They filed lawsuits against the Chinese manufacturers, accusing them of violating trade secrets, breaching contracts, and, of course, damaging Hermes's precious image. But let's be real, this wasn't just about protecting intellectual property. It was about something much bigger, controlling the story before it spiraled even further out of their hands. The luxury giant knew that once the truth started spreading, on TikTok, on Instagram, across the entire internet, no lawsuit could ever fully erase it.
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6, on en a. Hein.
De l'entrée où on me donne des morceaux de cuir jusqu'au moment où je vais avoir livré ma pièce, je veux pas qu'on reproduise un geste de façon indéfinie en se disant bon bah je fais toujours ce même geste et je pense qu'on est vraiment là pour apprendre un métier et pas des tâches.
After the backlash started, Hermes moved fast to do damage control. They released polished videos showing artisans inside French workshops, stitching leather, polishing hardware, working under soft, flattering lights. The goal was clear: reassure customers that every bag is still handmade in France, just like they always claimed. But viewers quickly picked up on something. The videos only showed the final touches. A few stitches here, a quick stamp there, not the full production process.
I had a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Italy, made in China. Or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Now, the man who's shaking the entire luxury world to its core, Tanner Leatherstein, a true leather expert who doesn't just talk about quality. He took what most people would consider the holy grail of handbags and literally cut them open piece by piece. And so to let you know, this guy paid for the bag from his own pockets, just to know why these bags are so expensive. So let's look into what he found after dissecting the bags. He said that it wasn't the flawless craftsmanship we were all promised. Far from it. Instead of purely hand-stitched masterpieces, Tanner discovered signs of machine stitching, shortcuts that betray the brand's handmade narrative. Even more shocking, some of the materials inside, the stuff you don't see on the outside, were noticeably lower grade than what Hermes boasts in its marketing. Imagine spending tens of thousands on a bag, only to realize parts of it are practically mass-manufactured. Tanner didn't just expose a few flaws, he peeled back the entire illusion. And once you see...
But again, what do people actually expect? That these brands so happen to have like 100 pieces of this bag and expect that they were mass produced? I'm wondering what is going on. What exactly is going on? It's just some people really didn't do their research. What is going on? The brands did not fool nobody. They didn't. They're just doing business and they had a good branding skill. Truth, that's the truth. But does it mean that if eventually all of this so happened to be true like this, like said by the Chinese manufacturers, how are you going to be trusted? How do you want to trust these Chinese manufacturers? Obviously, lots of people are also forgetting that people once associated made in China as fake, right? And now you people are suddenly trusting them that they are the ones that made these luxury items, and you people want to spend your money and give it to them. So what changed? What changed? What happened to not buying made in China product items and just sticking to the quality branded ones? What happened? What changed? Oh, okay. I'm still waiting for that answer. But truth be told, some of these brands may have manufacturers in China or factories in China, and maybe according to some of their contract or some of the policy, maybe, just maybe, for them to stamp it that way, it may, some parts of it may be produced in the said country for them to have that made in the country's logo. And if they did, then it's not any wrong. They're not wrong because they've did their due diligence and followed the protocols, the necessary protocols. So if you spend tens of thousands of dollars to buy a particular item and it made you feel good, why is it not making you feel good now? Why are people just all of a sudden trying to beat themselves like the world is about to end? It's not. Remember the feeling you once had when you bought that product and rock with it. It's just the truth.
What's inside, it's impossible to unsee it. The The real question is, if Tanner can uncover this so easily, how long have they been getting away with it? Stay with me, because it only gets wilder from here.
My point is, I think it's crazy how designer brands have been selling things for thousands when China sell them on and literally they're so cheap. If the Chinese manufacturers are making the same, like the actual Birkins, and then they are also selling these on the side as well, technically this is an absolute fucking bargain because it's the exact same material as a Birkin.
For years, Hermes wasn't just a luxury brand, it was a status symbol. Owning a Birkin or Kelly wasn't about fashion, it was about belonging to an elite club. Prices climbed higher, and the resale market, it was going crazy. Some bags even sold for double their retail value. But not anymore. Following these shocking revelations, resale prices have plummeted by over 20%, a massive drop in a market that once seemed untouchable. Collectors, once fiercely loyal, are now furious. Imagine investing $30,000 into what you believed was an heirloom, only to find out it might not even be what it claimed to be. Their anger isn't just about the money, it's about betrayal. Hermes promised exclusivity, authenticity, and prestige, and suddenly it all feels like smoke and mirrors. And it's not just Hermes. This scandal has cracked open the door to a bigger question. How much of the luxury industry is built on illusion? If Hermes, the gold standard, can be exposed, what about the rest? Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, are they next? The trust that once propped up these billion-dollar empires is now crumbling, and the ripple effects are only just beginning.
These are pieces.
No. No. They did not trick you guys. They did not trick anybody or anything. People should stop it. Obviously, they should just stop it. This ideology to say, oh, they were tricked. Because you once before did not trust made in China product, but now you're trusting the Chinese manufacturers. And also beware that there possibly will be fake ones out there. Do you think these brands did not know? Now ask yourself the question, why you think some of them had some particular serial numbers that they would use to track or detect it, or some of them have some particular card or something that would differentiate it from the fake ones out there or the replica ones out there? Do you think the brands did not know? They knew exactly what they were doing. They know that people are most likely going to get the replica of it or the dupe of it, so they wanted to make their own different and stand out from that. That's why they had their logo, they had something serial number, they had something different and whatnot. So obviously the brand builds trust and you're buying their trust and the brand. That is just the truth. But again, people just want to make believe that, oh, because Chinese manufacturers are telling you, they're not even exposing it, they're telling you that they were the ones that manufactured those things. All of a sudden, people no longer believe that these luxury brands are luxury. Remember, you once said premium or nothing. Now you know. Now you know. Eh? It is luxury. You want luxury. Luxury or nothing. Premium or nothing. Eh? That is what you once said. So stick to it. Honestly, stick to it. And let's be honest. These Chinese people, they will do anything to still stay in business. So if tomorrow this all of this were to die down, they are still going to stay in business, or they're still going to do business with whatever luxury brand that comes their way. And that is how it is. The mindset is how business works. But again, they did not trick you nothing, they did not sell nothing to you, they just sold their market. They had a good marketing strategy which worked, and maybe it's still gonna work again, because every is business, they need to stay in business and all that. Yes. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.